Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first video in my Iceland series. In this video, I'll be giving you an overview of our entire adventure in the land of ice and fire. From exploring the vibrant streets of Reykjavik to chasing waterfalls and soaking in geothermal lagoons, you'll get an insider's look at everything we did during our trip. Whether you're planning your own Icelandic getaway or just dreaming of visiting, this series is packed with insights, tips, and itinerary ideas to help you make the most of your journey. So let's kick off this Icelandic adventure together. After a smooth flight, we touched down at Keflavik Airport, the gateway to our Icelandic adventure. The excitement was real as we stepped off the plane and into this incredible country. Our first stop was duty-free. If you're looking to stock up on essentials or grab a few souvenirs, the duty-free shop was a great place to start the trip. Next, we picked up the Simnin SIM card, which I highly recommend for anyone traveling across Iceland. The network coverage was fantastic, even in more remote areas. If you prefer an eSIM, options like Eralo and Holafly were also available and convenient. We also decided to convert 50 euros into Icelandic kronas, just to have some local currency on hand. Interestingly, we didn't end up using it at all during our trip, as credit cards were widely accepted everywhere. With our SIM card sorted and currency exchange, we headed over to pick up our rental car. We booked with Lotus Car and they made the process super easy and hassle-free. Having our own car was essential for exploring Iceland at our own pace. And we are all set to hit the road. After a tiring journey, we kicked off the next day with a visit to Sky Lagoon, one of Iceland's most stunning geothermal spas. We jumped right into the 7-step ritual, starting with a warm soak and a cold plunge that really woke us up. The sauna with its stunning views was followed by a cool mist shower, post which we applied a revitalizing body scrub, then relaxed in the steam room, letting the minerals work their magic. We finished with a final shower and a drink, feeling refreshed and ready for more Icelandic adventures. After Sky Lagoon, we made a quick stop at Bonus for some grocery shopping. It's a great spot to stock up on essentials for the trip. Then we headed out to explore Reykjavik, starting with the Sun Voyager. The striking sculpture with its dreamlike design is a must-see when visiting the city. Next, we took a stroll down Rainbow Street, one of Reykjavik's most colorful and vibrant spots. We then made our way to Hallgrímskirkja, Reykjavik's most iconic landmark. This towering church, inspired by Iceland's basalt landscape, is a masterpiece of architecture and a symbol of the city's unique charm. We wrapped up our day with a meal at Cafe Loki, right across from Hallgrímskirkja. It was the perfect spot to sample some traditional Icelandic dishes. We began our next day exploring the historic Thingvellir National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site where the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates meet. The park is steeped in history and natural beauty, and we made sure to visit Öxar or Foss, a stunning waterfall that cascades into a serene pool. Next, we headed to Reykjadalur for a hike through the beautiful geothermal valley. The trail rewarded us with steaming hot springs and picturesque views, and we couldn't resist taking a dip in the natural hot river, a refreshing and unique experience in the Icelandic wilderness. After our hike, we visited the Kerrit crater, a volcanic caldera filled with vibrant blue-green water. The contrast of red volcanic rock and the bright water made for a breathtaking sight. For lunch, we stopped at Freiheimer, a unique greenhouse restaurant where they grow their own tomatoes year-round. We enjoyed a delicious meal surrounded by lush green plants with their famous tomato soup and freshly baked bread. Re-energized, we continued our journey to the Geyser geothermal area. Watching the Strokur geyser erupt was an incredible experience. It's one of those natural wonders that leaves you in awe. We ended our day at Gullfoss, one of Iceland's most famous waterfalls. The sheer power and beauty of the falls were mesmerizing as the water thundered down into the canyon below. It was the perfect grand finale to an action-packed day exploring Iceland's natural wonders. The next day, we set out in the early hours, navigating the rugged F-roads to reach the breathtaking Landmannalaugar. Leaving so early allowed us to beat the crowd and experience this remote wilderness in peace. Our first hike of the day was the Blahnapur Trail, known for its striking blue-black mountain views. The trail was a real challenge with intense winds making it difficult to keep our footing. We even lost our grip and fell a couple of times. The views from the top were worth every step though. After catching our breath, we took the Brennistein Salta Trail, famous for its colorful rhyolite mountains. Once again, the wind was fierce, making the ascent tough and demanding. But the surreal landscape of steaming vents and vibrant colors kept us going. We decided to return to the lava fields, and after the wind-battered trails, this part of the hike felt like a cakewalk, and it gave us a peaceful end to a physically demanding but rewarding day. We kicked off the next day with a visit to Seljalandsfoss, one of Iceland's most iconic waterfalls. The best part, you can actually walk behind the falls, which gave us a unique perspective as the water cascaded down in front of us. Just a short walk away, we discovered a hidden gem, Glyfra, a smaller but equally stunning waterfall tucked away inside a canyon. Next, we headed to Skógafoss, another breathtaking waterfall that's both powerful and majestic. Standing at the base of the falls, we were drenched by the mist. We then trekked along the river, discovering multiple smaller waterfalls along the way. Each one was unique, making the hike a rewarding and a scenic adventure. Then we made our way to the plain wreck side, an eerie yet fascinating sight on the black sand beach. We wrapped up our day at Dirhole, a stunning headland offering panoramic views of the coastline. The sea arches and towering cliffs provided a dramatic end to the day, and we even spotted some puffins perched along the cliffs. We started the day at Reynisfjara, the famous black sand beach, with its striking basalt columns and roaring Atlantic waves. The dramatic landscape was like something out of a movie. Next, we geared up for an unforgettable glacier hike at Fatiyakul with Melraki Adventures. Walking on the glacier was both exhilarating and humbling, as we navigated through the deep crevices and sparkling ice formations. After the glacier hike, we hiked up to Dettifoss, the Black Waterfall. Surrounded by dark basalt columns, Dettifoss is one of Iceland's most unique waterfalls. Our next stop was Fjords, a serene glacial lagoon with floating icebergs that made for a peaceful and picturesque setting. We then visited the larger Jökulsá, where massive icebergs drifted slowly through the lagoon towards the sea. The scale and beauty of this place were truly awe-inspiring. Ended the day at Diamond Beach, where this happened. The next day, we embarked on a scenic drive from Húfin to Egilsstaðir, taking the route through Valnes. Our first stop was Vestahraun, one of Iceland's most photogenic mountains. The dramatic peak rising from a black sand beach created a stunning backdrop. Next, we visited Hengifoss, one of Iceland's tallest waterfalls. The waterfall is striking with its red and black striped cliff walls, which add a unique touch to the landscape. We then made our way to Seyðisfjörður, a charming fjord town known for its iconic blue church. The church stood out against the backdrop of surrounding mountains, offering a picturesque and peaceful spot to explore. The next day, we started with a visit to Studlagil Canyon, known for its striking basalt columns and turquoise river. The dramatic contrast of dark rock formations against the vibrant water made this canyon one of the most breathtaking places we had seen in Iceland. Next, we headed to Dettifoss, Europe's most powerful waterfall. The sheer force of the water crashing down was awe-inspiring and magical. Just a short distance from Dettifoss, we explored two more incredible waterfalls, the Seljalandsfoss and Hafragilsfoss. Seljalandsfoss, with its broad cascade, and Hafragilsfoss, surrounded by rugged cliffs, both offered stunning views and unique perspectives on the raw power of Iceland's nature. After a day of exploring waterfalls, we arrived in Itinerary, where we treated ourselves to a relaxing hot and cold plunge. We began the next day exploring the Myvatn area, starting with Skútustaðagia, a series of unique pseudo-craters formed by volcanic activity. Next, we visited Kaflastrand, a beautiful spot along the shores of Lake Myvatn, known for its lava pillar and rich bird life. While the scenery was stunning, we did encounter the famous Myvatn midges, which added a little bit of extra challenge as we explored the area. We then took on the hike up Westfjords, a massive volcanic crater that offered panoramic views of the region. The ascent was steep but worth it for the incredible vistas from the top. Our next stop was Vere, a geothermal area with bubbling mud pots and steaming fumaroles. The otherworldly landscape was filled with the smell of sulfur, and the sight of steam rising from the ground was a true testament to Iceland's volcanic nature. We then ventured to the Krafla caldera, one of Iceland's most active volcanic regions. Walking around the caldera was like stepping onto another planet. We also explored Krotogau, a small lava cave with a hot spring inside. This spot might look familiar to Game of Thrones fans, as it was used as a filming location for a key scene between Jon Snow and Ygritte. Our final major stop of the day was Gullfoss, the waterfall of the gods. The wide, powerful falls were breathtaking, and the name comes from a legend that this was where the old Norse gods were thrown when Iceland converted to Christianity. We ended the day in our Airbnb, relaxing with the horses as the sun set. The next day, we set out from Akureyri to Hvammstangi. Our first stop was Seyðisfjörður, a charming fishing town nestled in a fjord. Known for its rich herring fishing history, the town offered picturesque view of colorful houses set against the towering mountains. Next, we visited Grafakirkja, Iceland's oldest turf church. This historic church, with its grass-covered roof, blends seamlessly into the landscape. We then explored Gromber Farm and Museum, a beautifully preserved turf farm that offers a glimpse into Icelandic rural life from centuries past. Our final stop of the day was Bolugljufur Canyon, where steep cliffs and powerful waterfalls carved out a dramatic landscape. The next day was all about the journey as we drove from Hvammstangi to Ísafjörður. The scenic views along the way were absolutely stunning, with dramatic landscapes and winding roads that took us through some impressive tunnels. We even stopped at a viewpoint where we spotted seals basking by the shore. Once in Ísafjörður, we explored a charming local lighthouse and museum, getting a taste of town's maritime history. To top it off, we hiked up to Trollseid for some breathtaking views of the fjords below. We began the next day at Dynjandi waterfall, often called the jewel of the Westfjords. This majestic waterfall cascades down in a series of tiers, creating a wide whale-like effect. We then headed to Látrabjarg, Europe's largest bird cliff and one of the westernmost points of Iceland. Standing at the edge of the towering cliffs, we are surrounded by thousands of seabirds, including puffins. We finished the day at Reynisfjara, a unique red sand beach that stretches for miles. The contrast of the sand against the blue sea and the surrounding mountains created a serene and captivating setting. The next day, we started with a visit to Kirkjufell, one of Iceland's most iconic mountains. With its distinctive shape and the nearby waterfall, Kirkjufell made for a stunning sight. We then headed to Stóri-Kambur for a memorable horse riding experience. Riding Icelandic horses through the scenic countryside was the highlight of the trip, offering us a unique way to connect with the land and its natural beauty. We spent the rest of the day exploring a few more hidden gems of the Snaefellsnes Peninsula, taking in the diverse landscape and charming coastal views that make this region so special. We ended our day in the picturesque town of Stykkishólmur, where we enjoyed a quiet evening. Continuing our journey through the Snaefellsnes Peninsula, we started the day at Þjóðarfoss, a stunning waterfall, followed by a visit to the Seljalandsfoss, a charming hilltop church. Next, we hiked from Arnarstapi to Helna, soaking in the dramatic coastal views at Dettifoss. We then explored the narrow, mystical Reynisfjara gorge before ending the day with a relaxing dip in the Landmannalaugar geothermal pool. We kicked off the next day with the Glamour hike, a challenging yet rewarding trek to the Iceland's second highest waterfall. The trail led us through lush valleys, past caves, and over a log bridge that crossed the river, offering stunning views of the cascading waterfall and the deep canyon below. After conquering the hike, we headed back to Reykjavik, where we ended the day with a relaxing soak at the Blue Lagoon, letting the warm, mineral-rich water melt away the day's fatigue. On our final day, we immersed ourselves in the vibrant streets of Reykjavik, exploring the city's unique blend of modern culture and historic charm. We wandered through the colorful streets, stopping to enjoy local cuisine at cozy cafes and trying traditional Icelandic dishes. We visited iconic attractions like Harpa Concert Hall and the bustling Old Harbor, soaking in the creative energy of the city. As the day came to a close, we reflected on our incredible journey through Iceland, knowing our adventure was coming to an end. The next morning, we took our flight back home, leaving with unforgettable memories of this beautiful country.